Hello and welcome to a 3v3 cast on Kvari Ruins. Starting off at the top side, we have Fr33man playing as the Lord Commissar. In mid we have Quixote playing as the Commando Knob, and at the bottom we have Ace of Swords playing as the Techmarine. On the right hand side we have DarkHero on the top side as the Warboss, vinghow in mid as the tanky Hive Tyrant, and in the bottom zeetorq playing as the Chaos Sorcerer. And starting off already, pretty some action going down in mid. Commando Knob is going to try and pick away some Homagant models here. Homagants should be able to bleed quite a few models, or will bleed a few models anyway to the Commando Knob, given that he can do 100 damage per burst with that shooter that he is armed with. But going to be falling back as the Termagants are coming in. Meanwhile, at the top as well, Lord Commissar is taking a little bit of damage, but will be able to cap while under fire. Does have that refractor shield, so is able to actually tank up that damage and then regen energy, instead of having to regen health instead while activated. But some sluggers are already going to go into against some Termagants here, but will be forced off as they're taking a bit too much range damage, and Hive Tyrant as well is doing quite a lot of melee damage with his default weapon. Commando Knob could throw a stun bomb here, although it looks like stun bomb may have already been thrown given that he is missing a bit of energy here. The Hive Tyrant even landing a special onto the Commando Knob. Commando Knob going to be switching to focus now to use some Termagants. Meanwhile on top we have a very sneaky Warboss going along the absolute top perimeter of the map. And Commando Knob is trying to force melee here onto these Termagants. I think the shooters do actually win in melee against Termagants, but Termagants do have more models than the shooters, where these Termagants are actually getting extremely low right now. The Commando Knob is desperately trying to chase here. He's in hop suit, but that Termagant brood is just a bit too tanky for him to actually kill, and some shooters now in a bit of trouble in mid. That one Termagant model does get away. The Warboss is going to be jumping in here. He does actually manage to sneak around the top side of the map and actually get into range of these guards. So it's actually going to be forcing Fr33man to be backing off in the top side completely altogether. Meanwhile in mid, vinghow is going to regain control of it. In the bottom here, Ace of Swords with his Techmarine being very aggressive here, going up against some heretics, but there are double Homagants on his retreat path, and he is not the most healthiest of characters right now, and is going to get jumped on in melee on retreat. There's just so many units, he will actually go down. Even like 270 HP, he actually took way too much damage there, but that is what happens when free melee squads come onto your retreat path. It's not very pretty. Some scouts though, taking a bit of damage from some CSM, not bleeding any models, but scouts without their elite training do take a while to regenerate energy and health, just like regular units. Meanwhile, up at the top side, Quixote and Fr33man going to be doubling up top, and DarkHero decides that he doesn't actually want any of that whatsoever and decides to just pull out of there. Techmarine's actually in a decent position for the Commando Knob to actually get a res. Commando Knob also armed with some stick bombs as well, but even without the stick bombs can always infiltrate and maybe get a res onto the Techmarine here in mid. But a very swarmy build here for vinghow with the double Homagants and double Termagants. A lot of squads together, even more annoying if the Hive Tyrant was to get the improved synapse, or if he was to get some warriors as well for the basic synapse support, where the Hive Tyrant does actually provide it himself as well. But these Homagants taking a lot of damage here in range, also getting knocked over by some catachins up top by Fr33man. Will be forcing them off, and the Warboss still sneaking around the top side of the map here, and Fr33man is actually none the wiser right now. It's very difficult to actually keep track of units in the absolute top part of that map, to be honest. But some sluggers hit, and some shooters going to be fighting each other. Quixote with his double shooters up top really wants to double up top against DarkHero here, along with Fr33man. Although I know specifically Fr33man doesn't like receiving help from people, so. But the double shooters here are going to be sitting very defensively. The sluggers force stuff here for DarkHero, and they could actually go in for a generator bash together. A smoke grenade has been dropped down to prevent them from getting suppressed, and also reduce incoming range damage to them as well. The Hive Tyrant is going to be just charging in here, does have the rending talons, and will be casting that ability, knocking back units, and I believe the green area as well does damage over time as well. The Warboss is going to be charging in here. Shooters will be able to barely escape past that Warboss. And it's going to be a full retreat here for blue side. And that Commissar might be going down. He's taking a lot of damage here. There's Homagants on a retreat path as well. He does have the Carapace armor, which gives him a nice amount of health regen, but double Homagants on retreat path here. Sensible Stomp though is going to come in and actually protect him, knocking back both the Homagant swords away from that Commissar. And there's also an IED here, the IED going off, and it's going to be killing a few Termagant models, also knocking a couple of them onto their feet, and the Commando Knob was able to get a res onto the Techmarine by the looks of things. Kommando Nob is also level 2.5, so I'm definitely assuming that he was able to get res given the amount of XP that he actually has got. DarkHero wondering if vinghow can place down a brood nest, and he definitely can place down a brood nest. Does actually have over 100 requisition to spend, and red team going to go in for a generator bash. Catchins with the unreliable, going to be knocking back quite a lot of these Termagants and Humgun brood, and it's very effective against them since all these models are very low health and high model count, so any kind of AoE ability is very strong against this kind of build. And even to a lesser extent DarkHero's build as well, Orks not being as swarmy as the Tyranids, but still very swarmy nonetheless. And the special from the Commissar, they're going to be interrupting the angry bits there as the Warboss tries to charge in, gets knocked over, and is going to be on the ground dead, and he is going to be in a very difficult position for vinghow to actually get res onto, unless they do another combined push like that together and actually push against that generator farm. They're not going to be able to actually do too much about that. Meanwhile, at bottom, Techmarine has been upgraded with Bionics and also the Mastercrafted Bolter hit. But Raptor's going to be jumping in, ASM going to be jumping in, is going to be interrupting those Havoc's Heretics with the Aspiring Champion, going to come in for a defensive position. The Shotgun Scouts here not use any abilities just yet. Raptor's trying to tie them up, but the Shotgun Blast will still go off. The Techmarine is actually going to be forcing melee here, did use the high-powered shot I think, and is also going to use the Bionics as well. Onto these Heretics, the CSM model has gone down, Havoc's down to just 2 models as well. Tactical Marines able to get away with full models. ASM might be able to do the same thing here, but the Sorcerer did try to get special. It did look like he landed the special, but the ASM's not getting knocked over whatsoever, and Raptor's able to take down a model on retreat as well. Meanwhile, the Termagon Humgun blob up here for vinghow is going to be pushing in, but might be a little bit outmatched. DarkHero has got units in the area, but these stick bombs landing in a nice position, going to be forcing them to retreat away. Catachin's going to be knocking back these Humgun's execution onto the heavy weapons teams, allows them to break retreat and reset up again. But DarkHero is coming in right now, and that is going to be a dead Kommando Nob over there. He's going a bit low, or a bit too far there. Didn't actually pull out of there in the end. Could see another execution down onto the Catachins, perhaps with the Carapace armor. So we actually see a flare going to force DarkHero away. The Hive Tyrant also taking a lot of damage, is also going to get forced away here, and could actually see a res or potential push to get a res onto the Kommando Nob up in top. Heavy weapons team, I'd imagine, is moving forward. It is moving forward. Catachin's also setting up. Going to be knocking back these sluggers. Commissar Lord is actually going in for a res. Sentinel is going to be pushing in, does need to be careful because the DPS of these double shooters with knobs and big shooters is going to be insane. Some really nice flanking Humguns here, but unsuccessful, actually wiping those Catachins, and could be in risk of dying themselves now. There isn't any melee here for blue team in particular other than the Lord Commissar, but the Humguns do have a nice retreat path, allowing them to retreat through the entirety of blue army, which is up here at the top side. And that heavy weapons team is taking an insane amount of damage here, and range. Warboss could be positioning himself to actually angry bits his way in. Some Humguns and Termagants are going to be trying to come in once again, and the Warboss is going to be able to get in there. We're getting absolutely run over there by that Warboss. Stomp will go down. I think the Stomp might have been better to wait for the Guardsmen to actually be walking through the Warboss's path. May have been able to actually do, or be able to pick off a few extra models there. The Warboss are very low right now. It looks like he's barely going to scrape out. The Sentinel is going to try and chase, and Sentinel will get him down onto the ground. Another weird boy over here. This one is DarkHero, is going to get tied up by the Lord Commissar. Hive Tyrant though pushing in forward, and blue team are a little bit scattered right now as they're trying to fight on different fronts right now. Everyone is now tier 2. Meanwhile on bottom, some aspiring champion Raptors here for zeetorq. ASM are not getting a sergeant here by the looks of things, but they are getting sergeant just now, right as I said that they weren't. 361 VPs, 312, a close game so far, although map control looking towards the favour of blue team right now. Mid VP looks like it's quite open for any side to actually take right now, to be honest. In fact, the ASMs or scouts for Ace might be able to go and capture mid. Bit of an engagement going down in the top here. The Warp Vomit though going to be knocking back and stunning some Termagants and Humguns, so it's just going to be a full retreat here for vinghow. Does also get the Zoanthrope as well. Very effective against infantry blobs. Meanwhile in bottom, Chains of Torment here for zeetorq. and Raps is going to be fighting ASM. Raps is going to be losing to the ASM though. By the looks of things, they do lose 2 models. ASM only losing 1. That is going to be a dead Sorcerer as well. The ASM jumping onto the retreat path here. The Power Sword and Sergeant very effective against Commander armor. And the ASM will be able to take down the Chaos Sorcerer, and Ace will be able to get control of the bump side, while at the same time he's moving his ASM towards mid to actually get control of that as well. Meanwhile, the blue shooter blob here against the red shooter blob. Blue team are actually able to successfully take out Red's power. There's even a foot of Gork going down, but looks like he'll get dodged for the most part, or even cancelled actually. I'm assuming that got cancelled, didn't really see the effect of it go down. And also a bit of push down here at bottom against red team's power farm Raptors, or not Raptors, sorry. The Plague Marine is actually going to get warped in here by the Chaos Sorcerer. You can actually warp in units onto your dead or half dead Chaos Sorcerer in the ground here. That's exactly what was done, but the Plague Marine is only able to get down 1 shot onto that Razorback, and Razorback does have the reinforced armor plating as well, so it will take more than 2 rear armor shots to actually finish it off. Those Tactical Marines are going in a little bit too far. Homgons are on the retreat path all over these tacks, and we'll actually be able to finish them off in retreat. The blue team still pushing in very aggressively. The missile launcher onto the Sentinel as well should be able to scare off DarkHero's War Truck at the very least. Could even get a kill on it, especially with this auto cannon as well. If that gets executed, the truck is going in very aggressively here. That truck is dead, and the Sentinel will also be going down here, but looks of things does not get the nicest path. There is 1 Castian model stealth there in the retreat path, or the, well, in the path the Sentinel needed to go. Double Zoanthropes as well, for how you don't actually see double or triple Zoanthropes that often these days, especially since the Zoanthropes were changed and even became a bit more expensive. Now they were 50 power compared to what they were before, which was at 40. The auto cannon doing a lot of work and a lot of damage. It's level 1 still, but I imagine it will level up fairly soon, although it is probably just going to die at this point. The double Zoanthropes shots along with the Homgons there going to be eating away at it. It's going to be a bit too much for them to handle. Homgon's going to be jumping onto the Guardsmen here, but these Homgons are so low, but the Homgons are really desperate for a kill here, going to be overextending, and these Homgons are going to go down, but the Commissar is the only one alive on that Guardsman squad and will need to be repurchased Sergeant, but losing the Homogons was not worth it for that. They did overextend to try and wipe the Guardsman there. And that is a dead Weird Boy as well. The Warboss able to actually pick him off, and also blue team having a generator farm in the top side. Red team are not in a good position right now, having their own power bash, and also blue team being in control of a contested generator farm going to put them miles ahead in terms of power. And you can already see that blue team have the first player to take up 2 tier 3 as well. zeetorq going to be jumping in some Raptors here. Power Fist very effective against Razorback, especially if you can get some rear arm hits and melts a pistol. Also doing some soft AV damage. I want to say soft just because of how little damage in total the melted pistol actually does. It's not a hard counter as such. For the Rod of Warp Fire though, for the Chaos Sorcerer, going to be knocking back the ASM. That Rod of Warp Fire also doing plasma damage as well, or not plasma damage, plasma cannon damage, so it's very effective against heavy infantry, which is very effective against infantry in general, to be honest. But Warboss going to be running away. Lord Commissar does have that stubbornness bonus, but no weapon upgrade though. Definitely wants a weapon upgrade with the stubbornness. The stubbornness does actually give, on top of the health regen, also gives extra damage as well to your weapon, up to 75% damage if you actually have enough units surrounding you. And given that blue team are doubling top a lot together, the allied units as well do actually give that stubbornness bonus as well, not just your guardsmen. Although with all the guardsmen dying here, the stubbornness bonus is wearing more and more thin onto the Lord Commissar here, although the Lord Commissar is just trying to cap that zap combination with a Weird Boy shot doing a lot of damage. These guardsmen nearly killing the squad overall, down to just 80 HP, but still 5 models, which is quite impressive as well. These stick bombers doing a lot of work. Castian is going to get forced off here, but they did actually do quite a bit of damage. Razorback though taking a lot of damage. The double Zoanthropes going to use the focused warp blast, but the focused warp blast no longer snares, but does do extra damage. But the Plague Marines don't get that rear arm hit. They don't actually fire the missiles at all, which is a bit odd. Looks like they may have already fired it and the weapon was on cooldown or something along the lines of that, and that's going to be an unfortunate warp there for zeetorq. Double shooters here going to be a little bit caught out as the double Homgons onto the retreat path here of Quixote. Double shooters very low, but will be able to get away by the looks of things. Also that Rod of Warp Fire doing very nicely against taking down 2 models from stand guards as well. They were already previously damaged, but still killing 2 models, or 2 stand guard models anyway with a single ability is very effective. Raptors are going to be jumping in. ASM have already jumped in, going to be catching out that Zoanthrope. We need to turn that shield on so the Zoanthrope cannot get knocked back. It's very risky to almost not have that shield activated, if you like. And ASM going to be losing the Sergeant there. Very unfortunate there for Ace. And Raptors are going to be trying to jump onto that Razorback, but at the same time, Nob's going to be flanking here for Quixote. He does actually have the Nob leader on the way. I don't know if he's got the meaner and greener upgrade, or if, I'm assuming he does because he's got the plus symbol above his head, so he does have that. And there's the meaner and greener activated right now. The Zoanthropes are definitely in a lot of trouble. The Termagants need to use the crippling poison, but they're not doing that right now. And one squad, in fact that one squad will be able to actually run through the Nobs as Nobs decides to switch focus to the Heretics instead. This one squad of Termagants really needs to use crippling poison if it has it available, but luckily the Havocs for zeetorq are going to suppress these Nobs and the Zoanthropes who are to get away, because the Nobs on the retreat path of the Zoanthropes is extremely dangerous. Lord Commissar does finally get that weapon upgrade, decides to go with the Fist of Brockus, combined extremely well with the stubbornness bonus, having an entire army which gives you a massive healing bonus, a massive damage bonus, and at the same time none of your army can die because of the non-shuffle ability going off on your Lord Commissar. 260 VPs to 126 here. Things are still not looking up for Red Team, even though if you look at the unit counters, Red Team do have just the larger army, and Blue Team going for a more specialized army, if you like. They're more high-tech, given that they're all tier 3, but they actually have less in total. And Red Team still not in control of this topside generator farm either. Blue Team really hit that hard by the looks of things, and they've actually been unable to recover it back. And at the same time, Blue Team still in control of that contested generator farm, and as much as DarkHero is trying to push against Freeman here, he's been unsuccessful so far to actually capture it. He is in the process of capturing it now, but will he be able to hold it, and will he be able to actually capture it, because he still hasn't got it under his control just yet. Warp Vomit very nicely though onto those guardsmen, combined with the Tankmaster Barrage. I've actually seen that combination before, that's really nice. And Catchin's trying to force melee onto these tank busters. Catchin doing a lot of melee damage, but that Weird Boy catching out these Catchins, and they're getting so low. If the zap ability is available, the Weird Boy should probably use it, but we'll catch out another Catchin here on retreat by the looks of things. Really wants to go in fact, Quixote is going to be sending up his double shooters here. The shooters up here for DarkHero will be able to barely finish it. In fact, they won't be able to finish the camp. They leave a fraction of a second too early, and the looter tank is here as well for Quixote. Warboss is trying to chase it down, although the looter tank is really scared of the Warboss for some reason, even though he doesn't have a power claw, or there's not actually any AV here by the looks of it other than the tank busters, which are currently in base right now. Red Team though pushing in through mid. Some scouts going to be stealthing here. Plague Marine's trying to chase down that Razorback, but that smoke shield is going to provide that Razorback with a defensive bonus. That loot tank actually went down here. Venom Brood, double Zoanthrope, and triple Zoanthropes. In fact, triple Zoanthropes could really burst down a looter tank. I think they do 165 damage per burst now, 2 vehicles. It was 100 before, but now that they don't have the snare, it does extra damage, which is 165, I believe. So 3 of those will easily sniper transport. Well, easily sniper transport. It will sniper transport, which isn't upgraded. So Ace's Razorback should be fine against the triple Zoanthropes, assuming it doesn't get hit by the Venom Brood at the same time. Vanguard Veterans though for Ace of Swords will be quite nice against this Tyranid army, especially against the Vanguard, especially against the Venom Brood as well. Venom Brood being heavy infantry, Vanguard Veterans being a purely power melee squad without their upgrade. Should be able to do pretty well. Is this rocket one as well? It is as well. Going to be catching out the majority here of DarkHero's army. Is going to lose a Shibway squad, going to be losing a Tank Buster squad as well. A very nice rocket run there by Freeman, but these Stick Bombers doing a lot of work here. The zap is also onto the guardsmen, so it's spreading, but Nunshot 4 is activated, so these Stick Bombs are actually unable to actually finish off these guardsmen. Scouts here for Ace of Swords are very low, might go down, but the Elite Training though gives them a lot of health and energy regen in, well, when they're not in combat. And that does include when they're retreating away. Retreat going to be going down. The Rocks is going to miss here. We'll catch out a few Termagants here and there, but the majority of the Rocks will miss. But the Hive Tyrant will be still going down. Warboss though for DarkHero is in the area, but there are 2 Nob squads actually surrounding the Hive Tyrant's body, so not really recommended for DarkHero to go in just yet. 114 VPs to 126. Blue Team have actually lost their VP lead by quite a bit. In fact, they're actually behind Red Team now, where 100 VPs or so ahead, but now actually 20 VPs behind. Predator down here for Ace as well. Chaos Havoc's trying to upgrade in the midst of a battle, not the best idea. Going to be forced to retreat. As soon as that upgrade is done, Mastercraft and Bolter trying to pick up a model on retreat is going to be unsuccessful at doing so. as much as blue team are all tier 3 and red team were much later to the tier 3 party, blue team are still still losing. Even with all the power bashes throughout the game, the VPs have been neglected so far by the looks of things. Stern guards apparently bugged here for those are the vanguards. Stern guards are, well, okay, 2 of the mobs got stuck inside the Razorback by the looks of it. Razorback was actually killed there by Ace. I think he actually wants the Stern guard veterans more so than Razorback. Razorback has kind of outlived itself. Now the Predator is here on the field. Yeah, Sorcerer did take control of the Vanguard veterans and get them to waste a bit of energy by jumping in to the Predator and trying to get a bit of damage onto that Predator, but Vanguards, without their Power Fist upgrade, not the most effective there. Double knobs, no, single knobs moving in. I thought there was 2 knob squads here, but they're not both here at the moment. Going to be going in, the triple zone ropes are going to be trying to do what they can. The Crushing Claw, Hive Tyrant and Homguns and Slaughter CSM all trying to focus down these knobs at the same time. And they will actually retreat away. Vanguard veterans also jumping in here for Ace. And these triple zone tropes are just providing a lot of damage really to anything that tries to jump in, but the triple zones are moving in a little bit aggressively here. Vanguards could try and switch focus, but Homguns and the Hive Tyrant will make sure that these zones are protected in fact. And it's just an absolute mess of a fight, but red team look like they're going to be aiming here. That Predator taking a lot of damage here from the double zones or triple zones. Looks like one did actually miss its focus blast, and the Predator is extremely low at 259. Venom Brood also trying to come in as well. Red team are going to be forcing blue team off here. Meanwhile at the top side, red team have also forced off blue team. DarkHero forcing off Freeman. Freeman coming back up base once again. Freeman does actually have a fair amount of resources, probably going to be buying a Lehman Russ. 25 VPs though for red team, 24 VPs for red team right now. The VPs are ticking down, so it's a 2-to-1 cap against them right now. The red team are capping the bottom side. The triple zones are very aggressive. Stern guard veterans are right in their face, and they are doing a lot of damage, but Stern guards with they show no fear, taking a lot of reduced range damage here. And knobs getting tossed in here by Quixote. Those zone tropes are not going to last very long, especially that special shoots Commando knob knocking them over, but the knobs are not focusing down that retreating zone trope. Instead they're going for a different zone trope. No, they're not going for any zone trope. What are they doing? They will actually get away unless the Commando can land a very clutch stick bombs, which he cannot because he has no energy. Those triple zone tropes are actually going to just live. And vinghow is also going tier 3 as well. I'm not sure tier 3 we have much of an opportunity to do much in tier 3 really, given how low the VPs are. Flare has also dropped down onto the army of DarkHero here, and some unupgraded sluggers rather, going in very aggressively here. Weird Boy going to do the Foot of Gork, but will actually die in the process trying to cast it, but will be doing a lot of damage and doing some, wow, he's actually taken down lots of models. May have been worth it given how low the VPs are for red team. They are quite desperate to win the game, and that is going to be doing a bit of friendly fire damage to the commandos here. But red team about to get a triple cap by the looks of things. Things are going well. Bottom is secure. Mid is getting secured by the Hive Tyrant. zeetorq is still pushing in here. Vanguards are trying to do a lot of work, but I'm not actually sure they're going to be able to force everything off. The Slaughter CSM will probably lose quite horribly to these Vanguards, especially with that shotgun blast coming in. The Aspiring Champion going down. Doombolt's going to be doing a nice bit of damage here. The Vanguards are actually going to get forced off here in the end. 44 VPs in the end here for blue team. The Lehman Russ coming out though for Freeman, as I said earlier, but getting very low. Commando still not able to secure top, but red team on a 2-0 cap right now. Things are so close right now. Blue team unable to get anything bottom by the looks of it, and in mid they're actually getting forced off. The Predator is trying to do what he can, but the scouts have been forced off. The Commando knob is coming in here, but there is a lot of stuff surrounding him, let's be honest. There is some units coming in here for Quixote. He's actually forced off himself. These zone tropes are so low. The zone tropes I felt like could have died earlier. The Orbital Bombardment is going to go down, but I think it's going to be a bit too late. 4 VPs, 2 VPs, and it's going to be game here. And red team are going to be able to pull in this game. They were behind for the majority of the game. That Orbital sound is still going off. Red team were behind for the majority of the game, but were able to actually come through in the end, and showing that you don't always, showing that bashing power isn't always needed, although red team do actually get their power secure at the very final stages of the game.